Welcome to the Fiction Genre Study. Today we will focus on characterization. I'm Ivan Dominguez, your middle school reading language arts coordinator and your presenter for today. So what materials will you need? You can download and print the note taker that was emailed to you, and you can also just grab something to write with. We are continuing on our adventure in the world of fiction. Through our reading of fiction, we have already met different characters along the way. We got to know more about the characters by what they would think, say, feel, do, and we also noticed the relationships and interactions with other characters. We know we simply call this characterization. Questions asked on STAR regarding characterization tend to be about what characters think, say, do, feel, and how they interact with other characters. Let's take a quick look at how some of those appear on STAR questions. On the first one, notice the word actions. Then here's the word feels, attitude, dialogue, and this one's a little bit longer, reevaluate her talent. Although fiction passages easily lend themselves to characterization, there may be some selections that are better for the teaching and learning of characterization. Let me provide you with one source. Such example comes from Common Lit. After logging into your account, I highly recommend that you narrow your search. You can simply go to Browse Content, and then Literary Device, and then select Characterization. Lots of different selections will populate. The one thing you will note, though, is that they are from various genres. That being the case, I recommend that you narrow your search even further by selecting specific grade and/or grades, and by selecting literary genres like fiction and short story. So after you have found the perfect reading selections for characterization, what can you do? Let me share 3 sample activities. The first sample activity is called Characters on a Roll. After reading a selection, students can be teamed up and given dice to roll. Electronic dice work just as well, and you can find those on classroomscreen.com. So after students have rolled the dice and they get their number, they answer the question based on the number they roll. For example, they roll a 2, they would simply have to answer, how does the main character change during the story? The one thing that would be important to note in this case as well, in this activity, is that students not only answer the question, but that they actually cite their evidence from the selection. That is Characters on a Roll. The second activity is called Inferencing Cards. Once again, after students have read the selection, they can complete the inference card. The inference card are as follows. Action. Review some action a character takes and decide what you can further infer from that action. Here you have an example. Predict what the character might also do next. Support your prediction with evidence from the text. Another inference card is from the dialogue. Consider the dialogue between the characters. What do you think the character is thinking when he or she says those words? Also consider the speaker tags in your inference. How did the character say those words? For example, when the character says blank, I think blank. Then there's one on inner thoughts. Find the words that tell what the character is thinking, the words not spoken, and reflect on what those show about mood, feelings, reactions, and personality. For example, the text says that the character thinks, so I think this means. The last one is on physical traits. Find the words the author uses to describe a character's facial expression, body, height, weight, clothing, hair, etc. What can you infer about the character? For example, the text says the character is, so I think. These cards can be used in a variety of ways. As an example, students can be in teams of 4. The cards can be placed face down and each student then takes a card. Students have to complete the task on their card and then do a share out. Students will then notice how much can be noticed about a character through their actions, dialogue, inner thoughts, and physical traits. The third example is called character impressions. After reading the selection, students can be teamed up and given a set of cards, just as you see here, that contain different character traits. Students thereafter can call out the words and they can move them around as separate cards. They can consider and discuss all the words. In teams, they can agree on the 5 that best describe a character or how they feel about him or her. They can move other cards aside of the table. They can place the chosen words and rank them in order from most to least true. They can then take their time to work towards agreeing as a team. They can refer to details in the text to help them to further decide on the cards and their ranked order. If you want to take students to the next level, you can have them discuss how and what they feel about the character. Just like in the other activity, students can be given a set of cards that they can work with. The number can vary. They will consider and discuss all the cards, then they will agree on the cards that best describe how they feel about a certain character, and then they just set remaining cards aside. Remember, students will continue to make inferences and show their understanding by providing text evidence for questions, but this time they will continue to do it about characterization. Should you have any questions about the resource or the sample activities, by all means, please reach out to me. Should you be looking for something different, same thing, reach out to me and I will be more than glad to help you. I am here for you. Thank you for viewing this webinar. Have a great day.